Is Kaberi Sarma-Debnath, Executive Director of the Multicultural Women's Organization of Newfoundland and Labrador. Welcome back to Sharing Our Cultures. Joining us now is Kaberi Sarma-Debnath, and she's the Executive Director of the Multicultural Women's Organization of Newfoundland and Labrador. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Lloydetta.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm very good and seeing all the natural beauty here in rooms.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, that's great. No, it's our pleasure. Yeah. And you've been here in this province for over 25 years. Mm-hmm. What brought you here?
Yes, I think my family lived here. My sisters, my brothers.
Okay.
They came maybe 45 years back.
Okay.
They did the job and everything. And my husband got a job here.
Okay.
That makes me to move here with my family, with my 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
And more than 25 years passed here.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that time like for you back then?
Yeah, that time when we came here, like kind of it's different. But life was different too. Children were young, not too much of things to do, but not many immigrants, newcomers. And I came, we actually we lived in different part of the world, in Germany when I got married, and then we lived in England, and from England we moved here. So it's a little bit of different in this island, but it's very nice when we moved here with family and friends. And yeah, I never mind because we both, my husband and me, we loved the ocean, the peacefulness here that attracts me. So we came, we're still here, and I think rest of our life we will be here.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. You're here to stay, so.
Yes,
yeah.
And another thing is like when we actually we lived in different part of the world, as I said, 3 continents, and my kids had their education in Europe and then brought here. And we actually wanted to, live in such a place where there is the kind of human rights is there, and respect for the diversity, and people are good. So it was so nice when we moved here, and both of us got job finally.
Okay.
A little bit of struggling and so, but finally we settled down, and I think the time we came and still now we love this province.
Okay, all right, that's really good.
And my daughter actually, then we said, okay, we will plant our root here, and then my daughter got married with a Newfoundlander.
Oh, congratulations.
And I got my 2.5 years old granddaughter, Maya.
Oh, okay.
So it's now, everything is here.
So
this is my world.
This is your world now, I like that, yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
So what was your profession when you came here, and how did you get work, or was that easy for you?
Not really. I was actually as a teacher at the university college over there, and before coming here, I even have my 2 books published.
Oh.
But when I came here, and I am a social worker.
Okay.
So when I came here, my husband was a scientist, and he got his all kind of degrees and everything and publication, and that's why he was hired by the federal government here, and he's working with the Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, contributing everything, whatever he learned from all this lab. And I think this lab over the job, people love his work, and he's working with all berries, local Newfoundland berries, everything. For my case, because I was social work profession, need a license. So when I came, I couldn't do anything. I was like homestay mom, maybe 5 years or more, but I never stopped because I was doing my volunteer work in Germany, and when I moved here, I tried to find out how I can start my work. And newcomer mom with 2 children, we don't have car, we don't have much of the things, not house. It's not easy to jump both of the husband and wife in a job situation. So I was a little back path, but I never stopped. So that's you asked in the beginning, like there was not many services here at that time who could guide me how a professional person with foreign credentials can enter the job. So all the path I have to find on my own. And the time we moved in this St. John's, we found like people are more like over nice and kind, because the experience we got from other part as Germany and UK, so we can compare some ways. So it looks like everyone is welcoming here, like so good. May not give the things what we need at that time, but extremely like hopeful, positive. So then I found, I was in a conference, I think you were there, I don't know, foreign credential recognition, the challenge of the professionals. Somehow I was there and I was telling my story, like 10 years of teaching experience, and I have 2 publications before I come here, but I was the homestay mom and doing the volunteer works. So the lady I still remember, her name is Lisa Quaicoe. She was the director of the Newfoundland and Labrador Association of Social Workers. And it clicks, and my luck, and she was actually in the audience, as a kind of in this conference. And then she called me, she talked to me. She said, oh, you had that company, so come to me. So that's my journey to my professional career started. And after that, I think it's 98 or 4, and then I never stopped. So, slowly I got my credential, I got license, I did some degree. And one of the professor, the man, I still remember, School of Social Work, she actually helped me a lot. So, but in the meantime, I have to change my career path. I was a teacher before. Now I started work with the Health and Community Services as a community social worker. I worked there till 2005 or so. In the meantime, Multicultural Women's Organization, all after that. It was a small organization and not, but the need of the, because being a social worker, I actually got called like for counseling or helping them informally. And after all this journey, Multicultural Women's got funding, and I'll talk about that later, how I came in, and I moved from that government job to this non-profit organization. Still working there last 15, 20 years.
So then, even though you were already a social worker, when you came here, you couldn't work as a social worker, so you had to have someone help you. So did you have to take exams to get accredited or go?
Yes, I had to, you have to like bring all of your documents, and then they actually guide me, like you need to do that many courses. I actually added with I had my master's in social work, but then I have to add some diploma here, and with some courses as Man advised me to do, Memorial University, I did that. And finally my all papers was evaluated, and I did. And I think in that time, 2000 or 1999, around that time, as I know, I was the only social worker with foreign credentials recognized with the first time I wrote my name as a RSW, registered social worker, I feel so proud. And I'm grateful to each of them who actually gave me my licensing to do the practice. And when I'm seeing my clients, like come from diversity, all these, some clients coming from other background, somehow they trust me so well, and I can connect them with the journey I had, being coming from other country, living here, struggling at the beginning, and settle down, and I think kind of success. Whatever we got, we take it. It's so, and that's like positive vibration. What I have in my heart, in my family, we just try to share with any clients come with any kind of challenges, issues, depression. I said, look at the world, it's not too bad, and this is such a place, you can get so much opportunity. And even myself, I found this after 20 years or 25 years, I'm seeing myself, so many places I get invitation to go with the government, with the ministerial, interministerial committee, to the violence prevention committee of the province, and all these women's organizations, we all work together across the province. And I feel so privileged, so happy to work in this. Thank you.
That's great, and you're doing a great work, and we really do appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
Right. So I was thinking that, you've stayed here for over 25 years. What actually motivated you to stay in this province? Because, many people come and then they leave and go to the larger cities, but you decided to stay, raise your family, and you even have a grandchild as well. Why did you stay?
Since the year we moved from England, and there's like both of us. Actually, you need to all of your family members need to like the place, not only one person. So both me and my husband, we got the ocean, the nature. First, you can see we both are nature lover, and we don't have too much of expectation like going all these big places. So that is one of the thing. And even every summer, my husband actually for his research he had to go all over Canada, and even in Atlantic Canada, and in Newfoundland, all this corner he had to go for his collecting all berries and everything. That's why he knows most of the places. And and then he took the family. So we traveled so much. It's not like, but we invented how beautiful Newfoundland and Labrador is. All the corners. If you want to have a peace, if you want to have, kind of a nature lover things, you are hiking and everything. Other thing is like, in a school system, when my daughter goes to all the schools and here, I found, I know nowadays a lot of things are different, but in our life, we didn't find that much of complexity. And because I know my daughter brought her friends, mostly Canadian friends, my fridge was open, and it's a lot of food, and they took it, they eat it, they enjoy it, and sleep over each other's house. So that's and now I'm with the intercultural, for my daughter's family again from that. So we you need to do a feeling like we belong here, and I found the respect. That's, I don't think if I live in a big city, whatever a respect and recognition I'm getting here, I may not get in other place. That's another thing, like it's going to be, and so much of when I am sitting now in my office, like the amount of trust and the closeness with my clients, our multicultural women's memberships, with the board, with the partner organization, at least 25 or more organizations in the city we are working to them. We all are like kind of a friends. And if I have any issue, right away I can refer my women to others. They call me right away the phone, because this is small city and a small province. And I also got a lot of interprovince, like from other part of the Newfoundland, for if they had any clients issues or any challenge they couldn't. I do lots of consultation. So that whole thing I found, because this is a province with well connected. I know something is missing somewhere, but we all can work together to fill up that blanks. That's I found. Yeah.
That's so true. That collaborative spirit is really important for growing, your home here. All right, don't go away. Sharing Our Cultures will be right back. Welcome back to Sharing Our Cultures as I continue my conversation with Kaberi. Now, Kaberi, you're the Executive Director of the Multicultural Women's Organization of Newfoundland and Labrador. Can you tell us what are some of the activities that the organization does?
Yeah, this organization started, I think, from more than 35 years back in 1992, and is getting bigger and offering better service. But before telling the service, like some of our missions includes, like, we actually offer the wide variety of the programs and to support the immigrants, newcomer, and the visibly minority women and their families to participate and to connect and to belong in this country and in this society. So aiming at that, we just make our plans and programs and activities. So the activities what we offer, it includes like all group, like all age group, and like seniors and children and all then. And we also when we make the plan for activities, we include for their well-being, like physical well-being, their social well-being, and their mental well-being. So comprehensive program we offer, and in a gender-based way, and the other way we focus like culturally competent, because that's we need as a kind of a multicultural organizations. So I think that's the uniqueness of our organization. So as I said, like we offer every month based on the need and based on the recommendations of our memberships. So the organization actually runs by a kind of government board, and that the board, I always acknowledge the board previously, like you when you were also in the board and other people, pioneer of this organization, we always acknowledge their role very well, and we acknowledge the funders who actually gave us the fund. Otherwise you cannot do any program. Like our present funders, we really acknowledge Status of Women, Government of Newfoundland and Labrador, Office of the Immigration and Multiculturalism, Department of Advanced Education and Skills, and Community Healthy Living Fund. So that's our provincial organization, provincial funders. And recently we are very lucky to have another 3 years funding from Women and Gender Equality from federal government for 3 years project to capacity building of our organization. So when we started, our program was there there, but it need to be sustainable. It need to be continuation of the program if anyone leaves or, So that's why we are working very hard these next 3 years more to build the capacity of our organization. So based on all these funders, and also I think I'm learning like how this to develop any activities, you need to be very kind of knowledgeable, and I'm very lucky to getting like all this kind of knowing the women's leader of the province, political leaders or leaders with who works with the gender-based equality or violence prevention. So everyone we all work together, and that all this knowledge which we receive from these experts, and with my own knowledge and our memberships, what they want, and our present board and the staff, everyone helps to develop all these programs. So we do like violence prevention is one of our very key activities ongoing, and we do actually partnership with all violence prevention organizations here, and we work together. Our goal is like a society with no violence, and victim of the women are so, and I, being a counselor, I see their sadness, I witness their cry, I see their success and kind of that kind of thing. So we also work to make them independent, because without employment, without economic independence, no one is free. And even if they are violence free, they are not equal. So all kind of barriers we found, with different research and everything, and talking to the people. So employment, like to enter in the job field, lot of work you have to do. It's not only resume or giving a job. To improve, that's why we do a lot of program with empowerment. Like if they are empowered, they are strong, then they can keep the job. It's not easy. And then also we do lots of counseling in our program. And for the service providers, we actually had a kind of a transcultural competency training. So that actually we actually, a lot of service providers may not be get opportunity to learn the cultures and the values of immigrants, how to deal with them. Right. So there are a lot of confrontation come, there are gaps come. So we actually in between play kind of a bridge in between the service providers, stakeholders, and sitting in different committees, like with different interdepartmental committees and ministerial committees. And I think I'm lucky to sit also in the RCMP provincial representative in the RCMP committee. So every year we met in Ottawa, and all provinces representatives come there. Is called, so then we shared each other how we can improve our services and cause. So that's kind of a collaborative work, networking, and a lot of partnership. So whenever, because we are not all resourceful, so we got always come people for the information session. Like in the tax return time, a lot of our women don't even know or doesn't have much money to pay there. So we do the free clinic, tax return clinic, and art and cooking, and yoga and meditation, and it's going to be so relaxing, because a lot of people, especially in COVID time, you don't know how many clients and how many women we are so lonely, so isolated. So we try to now doing most of the program with the Zoom, at least 10 to 12 programs we do in a month for keeping them busy, for the children art class, cooking class, Zoom, yoga, and some meditation, and information session, and mental health, all kind of things, how we can help them. Depends what they want us from. So that kind of activities we do, and it is continuing. But a good part is, I think we have a little bit of gap also, like we don't have any other wing in other part of this province. So with the help of this new project from the federal government, we are aiming to open another wing of Multicultural Women's Organization, maybe in the central or western. With that. So we are working on it. Yeah. Yeah, and also like, you can see, like, because I'm witnessing every day, like the challenge they are facing. It's not like they will come and tell you. When they come in participate in our session, then we found out, or maybe they know, okay, there may be a counselor here who can help us. So that's why we found, like, I think we are extremely very successful to reach out with the people, because the staff now working, actually, they have like diverse backgrounds, some are like Canadian way, but we, all of us together, using our resource, using our knowledge, and using our heart, we can reach to more people, serve more women, and a lot of people are suffering. But when in my life, in my present work, I feel every day privileged to be the executive director of this beautiful well-resourced and welcoming organizations, Multicultural Women's Organization of Newfoundland and Labrador, and seeing how much is getting kind of broader their spectrum, how much we are aiming to do in future. And I think within 5-10 years, I'm hoping that these organizations will be more sustainable and kind of one of the strong immigrant-served women's organization of the province.
Yeah, which would be great, the fact that you're trying to reach outside of the St. John's or Avalon East area and being able to go to other parts of the province, because now there are more immigrants living all over the province. That's important. Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
So what would you advise, a family who they want to come here and make a home in Newfoundland Labrador?
Yes, that's a good question. There are a lot of positive things here too, but there are also, we all know retention rate for immigrants and newcomers are very few, because we cannot deny that the challenges the newcomers face when they come here, and challenge with the employment. Job is the biggest issue. Like what I got, a lot of even people may not get lucky to have that, the recognition of your foreign credentials. Because if I didn't have that social work license, I may be a lifelong housewife, or maybe I am sitting in another job that I never like it. So that kind of situation, a lot of women here are, because when I deal with the professionals here, they cannot get recognition with their, especially the doctors and nurses. I know a couple of couldn't get their license. It's very hard, and I think that process is complicated here, because if you live in mainland, it's different. But we all are working now with the Office of the Immigration or others, and with our funders, with the women's organizations. We are trying to find out what could be better. So if anyone comes here, I think the better, they need to research. They need to research how this province is, what this province can offer, and based on that, they can take the decision. Because when you come here, then the province has their own issues, own challenge, and not only immigrants, even people from here, they don't get the job. And I know the new graduates, and so many people are not getting even job. I know immigrants and are getting more challenge, and immigrants, women with children, with the lack of childcare facilities and language barrier. My God, it's so much of challenge, that's double or their challenge. So that's true. That's why they don't. But when you choose to come in this province, you have to accept what we have. And I think if anyone is very determined and they said, okay, I'll stay here and I'll find out what can be done, things can be done. That's I believe. And another thing I also believe, come with a positive force, not only getting a job here. Because I know when I didn't get my job or license or anything, I actually at least 10 organizations I did volunteering. Because I need to know the country, I need to know the society, whom I will do the council if I don't know the people's attitude or culture, everything. So I advise to all of my, the memberships or anyone, look for the job. I said, rather than if you don't get a job, don't get frustrated. Do more volunteer work. I know there is a limitation with the transportation here. A lot of volunteer people, women especially in the winter time, cannot go anywhere for the limited transportation, bus facilities, and people cannot afford to buy a car or another driving license issues. And child care is a big issue for the mother I am dealing with. I really feel that things need to be done with that kind of areas. But when you come, you need to accommodate what we have and the harsh weather. If you live here and you can accept that weather and the environment, then you can see the beauty of this province. You have to be determined. You have to get the positive, and that's my thought. I always tell if any clients or anyone comes to me, I said, if you tell me 5 negative things, tell me at least 1 positive thing. And every day beauty, and it's not a bad weather, but some people say it's really bad. That kind of things. You need to I think I always like to thanks to my mother, the way I was brought up, and my family members, my sisters, who showed me the path when there is always dark and struggle and everything. You will need to find your own path if you are determined. So I am a feminist woman. I think I'm born in third world country, but in my heart, I am a feminist. I believe in women's equality. I believe in gender-based, because that's why when I was in the Women in Politics, there was a session there, and they invited me as a guest speaker over there. And I met all these politician leaders here, and them who works with women's rights and everything. I feel so lucky to live in this province, and I'm getting all this opportunity because I'm here. If I, for the weather or job at the first 5 or 10 years of your life, if I move, I may not get all these things what I'm getting now. I got my daughter here, lives in this province, got a job, and my grandchildren visit me. Even in this COVID situation, a lot of people, parents are here, grandchildren are other place, you are always worried. I'm so lucky to have them here.
Yeah. Well, good. And we're lucky to have you here with us as well. So thank you so much for being with us today. You've actually given us a lot of information, and we really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here, and wish all the best for your work.
Okay, thank you.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to Kaberi, and thanks to you for being with us today. Join us again on Sharing Our Cultures as we bring you more remarkable stories of individuals from around the world who've come to call this place home.